traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
Hi guys. Another lovely sunny day today in Norwich, in Norfolk. Yeah, I wanted to reply to a video I just made, well, recently I just made, about why I prefer younger women. So many women and some men butthurt, you know, like people don't have a choice, you know, you're not free to think, you know, the way you want to think. You have to think in their way, you know, a certain way, otherwise, you know, you're weird, or it's gross, or it's creepy. Yeah, I'll tell you what creepy is in a minute. Yeah, but I can't believe I got £515 bill for my dad's pension, like 2 years after his death, like about 1.5 years after he's passed away, because overpayment of NHS pension. Basically, they couldn't stop the money, my dad's money, the NHS pension going into his account on the date that he died. So it went over. And so I have to pay £515. So I'm going to have to go and check and see if this is right. But why you make people wait so long? You know, if that's the case, like they can make a mistake and then 10 years later contact you for with a bill. It's not fair, because at the time I had the money. Now I don't have the money. I'm in debt. So what am I supposed to do now? You know, like, I was going to say people are bastards, but these authorities are bastards. They don't care. My dad was living in the annex, right? When he was living there, he had, you know, because he was a pensioner, he didn't have to pay council tax or whatever, or maybe paid less. Like, as soon as he left or he passed away, boom, they started badgering us for council tax, and we have to pay council tax on the annex as well. So many things to fucking pay for. So that's why I want to downsize into a fucking hut. Sorry about my language, but it's so many things to pay. Constantly bills, and one bill, another bill. Constantly people are after you for this. Money. It's not only women, young women, older women, whatever. Everyone is after this. Well, if you owe it. Yeah. I don't want to owe anyone any money. I thought I took money out of my dad's account, and then I borrowed money as well in order to pay for my dad's funeral. Now I owe the NHS £515. I owe £9,000 to my wife's family. Well, she owes. So how am I supposed to say? You know, they can wait a little bit until I sell the house. That say 10 grand. These bastards are not going to wait. They're not going to want to wait. You know, they waited 1.5 years, and now suddenly they're going to put me under pressure. If I get some donations, I'm just going to pay it off. I can't expect that. I don't have that money. I get £100 every week. If I can save £50 a week, it's still going to cost. It's going to take me bloody 10 weeks to save that up. Anyway, I think I'm going to write a few PDFs, a few books, and see if I can get some sales. I don't know what about. I've got a few subjects in mind. How to pick up younger ladies by the old fart. Gerald. Alright, okay, no, just joking. Yeah, talking about that, I got a few butthurt comments, and I had to nuke a few ladies. I assume they're ladies. Bloody hell! There was one that said something like, "Now let's see, a woman's coming to you, fertile, beauty, all this, and what are you gonna give her? What are you gonna bring to the table? You don't have any money." You've got all these problems. So I thought, you know, like, I'm no spring chicken. And I looked at her profile, she's no spring chicken as well. She's a woman in her 40s, an old, and like a clapped out old banger. Like when I was 40, lady, I looked much better than you. I'm not proud of it, but I'm saying, don't try and put me down, you know, as if I'm past it. Yeah, I'm past it. But when I was 40, I looked really good compared to you. Not compared to everyone else, but compared to you. So, like, who are you to point the finger at me? Annoying, really annoying. But not in a bad way, but in a weird kind of way, annoying. Yeah. A woman comes with her fertility. I don't give a shit what she comes with, If I choose that kind of woman and she wants to be with me, then she makes it out to be like an exchange. She gives you this and I have to give you that. All this equality. There's no bloody equality. She might be 20 years younger than me. If somebody comes to break down the house, I'm still the one. As a man, I have to go out and protect her. Nothing really changes, I don't know what that's got to do with it, but yeah, I mean, the same man and woman relationship, the dynamic is the same. The thing is, if a lady, not that, I've met any woman that wants to be with me, I was just playing around with the idea, and the women get so butthurt, Yeah, I suppose I expected it. I didn't really want to upload, but they get all so nervous, I think women in Western countries have had it really, 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 really good. They should have been born in other countries where they don't have it that good. Women have their traditional roles and men can say things like what I said. But obviously they take advantage of men being so gay. I mean, no disrespect to gay men, but men being so feminine and basically taking it up the arse. Sorry, that came out wrong. The gay guys will be thinking, "Oh, maybe he's on our side. He's one of us." No, I'm not. But gay guys are quite funny, actually. But anyway, forget about that. Right. Yeah, so there were a few comments. I think one lady was saying, I've got a 17-year-old daughter. When she becomes 25, I wouldn't want her to be with a man who's approaching 60. It's creepy and what is it? And gross. First of all, what makes you think I would want to be with your daughter in the first place? It's not as if I'm going around like a boogeyman grabbing young women and young children. Fucking ridiculous the comments, are just making a point. Whether you're like 12 or 92, that demographic, that group of women is desirable. If you are butthurt because you're 60 and like everything's like everything's reached down to your knees, it's not my fault. I'm not saying I never said I'm a spring chicken either. So I'm kind of not on your side, but on the same level. I'm not saying I'm a young person. I'm not. But I'm young at heart in some instances, in some areas, But it's not my fault, and so I think that's why these women get butthurt, because they know they're old or older, and they say that I don't want to accept the fact that I'm aging. But you don't want to accept the fact that you're aging. You're just saying, you're just mirroring your own thoughts, your own feelings. You're upset because you are old. What I'm saying is you can maybe do something about it instead of complaining. So finally, I make a video that is positive, and people still, they get butthurt because they don't understand what I'm trying to say. So I'll explain to you. I'll mention it. And I think one lady said, finally you made the video. Believe me, that's not the video. This is the video. where I'm gonna get crushed. Right. Okay. I've been into alchemy for a long time. Alchemy, from the Middle Ages, is some people say it's the transmutation of base metals like I don't know, lead, tin, whatever, and they evolve up to gold. So some alchemical texts talk about creating the elixir of life, or a substance that can transmute these gross gross old men into perfect human beings, into young beings. No, but gross, or like metals, like you have the old man, you have lead, and then you have like tin and copper, and compared to gold, they're almost valueless. They don't, they're not very valuable. But gold at the time was thought to be like the epitome, the peak or perfection of metals. And so I think if I'm not right, they thought that metals evolved from these base metals to gold, to perfection here. So it would take a long time, thousands of years, or a span, of a long time, in order to get from here to here. And everything is evolving to gold. The elixir of life can quicken this evolution. And so what nature took, say, thousands of years, I don't know, 10,000s of years, million years, or whatever you believe in, a long time, an elixir of life can do that in, let's say, a few months, 9 months. And so this can speed up time. The idea is, if it can speed up time, it can paradoxically slow down time or reverse time. So just as Einstein, I think is it the theory of relativity or time dilation? The faster you go and the closer you go to the speed of light is an actual elixir, because it's time slows down the faster you go, or the closer you get to the speed of light. And so in theory, if you had this substance that can transmute, that can speed up things, like metals, and make them evolve to gold, then you have a substance in theory that can slow things down, if this is correct, or if their idea is correct. So that's what it is. Alchemy, people talk about alchemy. There are loads of books written about alchemy, and some people say, oh yeah, alchemy is all spirit, it's just spiritual. Others say alchemy, oh no, it's practical. You get acids and metals, minerals, and various substances. They read all the books and try and decipher what the hell they were talking about, and most of it is gibberish, because and gibberish means gibberish comes from the Arabic alchemist called Gerber. He would write books, and then lots of alchemists would write books, and then the adept, or the person trying to understand this, not the adept, but the person trying to understand and read the books, will be stuck in a labyrinth, because it was made on purpose for you not to understand. And so the word, hence the word gibberish, I think from Gerber, the Muslim or the Arab alchemist. In a basic sense, alchemy is the transmutation of self, trying to make yourself better, stronger, younger, make yourself live longer or extend your life. That's all a kind of form of alchemy. I mean, alchemy is much deeper than that. I'm just trying to explain a very, very, very basic idea of alchemy. Or you can call it just not anti-aging, but life extension, or I don't know, the creation of an age-arresting elixir or drug. Now, when it comes to the secrets of alchemy, it's difficult to find the secrets of alchemy. It's written in the books of alchemy that either you have to have a teacher, or you have to have the grace of God maybe only those two ways. I haven't found a teacher, so I'm relying on God, and maybe God is the best way. Now, I've read some texts, Chinese texts, some European texts, Indian, there's various texts. And when I was living in China, I did study a few texts. You know, I thought about it. I thought about sexual alchemy. And in various texts, you know, in some texts, you know, some things seem to stand out. So I remember one book I was reading, some Taoist geezers, they were saying that all men, sorry, not all men, all women, no, women are death. And I thought, wow, what a powerful statement. And I thought, what does that person mean? Like, is that an ancient Taoist misogyny? But what it meant is it's a deeper meaning, which I can't really go into on YouTube because it will get, the video will get banned. But it's to do with sex, and it's to do with a woman being shall we say, a pure vessel. If you're a man, if you're an alchemist, it can be before all the I get all the misogyny comments. Oh, fucking sexist bastard. This can be done the other way around. You can be a female alchemist, and you can find the elixir of life yourself. I don't know how women do it. I have to see how they do it. But there are various books on this, but I'm not exactly sure how women do this. But anyway, I'll just explain the male version, okay, to all you blokes out there, and all you crazy ladies that want to listen to what I have to say, and all those butthurt ones that are secret fans in disguise, trolleys or trolls. Yeah. So the idea in alchemy is if you wanted to create this elixir, that you get a substance, a pure substance, and then you, without giving too much detail, you play around with this substance, and then eventually this substance is made really, really pure, and then you have a really pure substance, and you can take this substance and it benefits you somehow. You know, it can extend your life or help you reach an illumined state, enlightened, you know, or whatever the goal is. Okay, I suppose I'm just going to have to say it. In this method or this way of thinking, sexual alchemy, or it's not really, what is it? There was tantra. It's not really tantra. I don't think it is. It's something similar. But basically, you have to find a female. You know, she is your starting material. A female that obviously a woman that wants to do this with you, and you can practice sexual alchemy together. But it's nothing to do with shagging or jacking off or anything. In fact, it's the opposite. If any of you guys knew what this entails, you'd think, what a load of bollocks. Because it's not, you know, if I was to say to you, okay, I'm doing this practice, sexual alchemy, with a 30-year-old woman, okay, you would think, oh yeah, what a cradle snatcher. All you want to do is bang and shag. It's absolutely not the case. It's not the case. That is the way to death. Because, you know, in the Chinese theory or ancient Taoist texts, or even texts that predate Taoism, men are supposed to not to like ejaculate constantly. That's really, really bad, you know, and it shortens your life. That's the old theory, right? Because you lose the generative fluid, and that generative fluid is really important because in their eyes you have qi, jing, shen. So qi is energy, intrinsic energy, like you get from food, and you get from the air that you breathe, and you were given at birth. You know, this is energy. Energy becomes jing, which is sexual energy. This sexual energy, if you release it all the time and you leak this semen, basically, you're on your way to death. But if you conserve this energy and you circulate it through meditation, then you can in theory, extend your life and be more healthier, have less disease. But there is one method that I won't go into, I'm not going to go into, but you bolster your energy, first of all, by, I mean, you can become celibate and, no prom, no watching any corn, if you know what I mean. But engaging in banging, it's not like sex as you would know sex, but it's you engage, you get together with a lady, with a woman, and it's very very caring, very, you basically exchange energy, and that's as far as I'm gonna go. But it's not like, like, I feel that ordinary sex is quite brutal, because it's just banging, it's just banging away, banging away, banging away, and then it's over. At least this is what I think, from what I know from my experiences and experiences with like blokes who've told me. I know that's roughly what happens. It's not very loving. It's not. Oh, wait, it's not loving for you, but my husband does it that way. Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. If that's what you say, but that's what it is. You lose your head and you start banging, and that's what happens. And I basically, they believe, these people, these theories believe that when you bang hard, it's actually bad for your internal organs, for your energy. Is really, really bad for the man and for the woman. So you're supposed to, okay, I'll give you a little secret, a little kind of peek. Like, when the man makes love, it's the opposite of what we actually do. Instead of being hard, he has to be very, very soft when he enters. And when he's hard, he has to come out and reduce his arousal and perform certain meditation to calm himself down, and then go back to the act of, it's not really lovemaking, it's a kind of meditation between two people, caressing and I'm not going to say it, but doing certain things. And some people actually do this, if they find a partner. But the problem is, this is the problem. If you're a man, an older man, you have to find a younger woman, because a younger woman, and this is all the butt hurt's going to come from this. Oh, why can't you find an older woman? Because the whole point is, you have to find a woman that has all that young energy. And people might say, oh, it's all bollocks, this energy. Tell me about science. Well, a younger woman biologically is younger. And so without going into too much detail, a younger woman has had less, how do I say this without getting in trouble? Baggage, shall we say. And I'm not talking about, yes, there is emotional, spiritual baggage, but there is other baggage that she's picked up from men. So, okay, so if a woman in her 50s or 60s or 70s, even in her 40s, I'm not talking about every woman, of course, but the average woman is banging away, because women are the gatekeepers of sex. So they are the ones that choose. They say when you have sex, basically. Like, I'm a man and I have 10 women in front of me, okay? And if 10 women say to me, like, the average man, okay, not me, the average man, and they're average looking, like between 0 and 10, they're a 5. They're all 5s, 6s, 4s, like this. And these women went to a man and they said, oh, I like you, I'd like to make love with you. Guaranteed, that man will choose all 10 of them. All 10 of them. I mean, that's how men think, right? It's normal. The other way around, if 10 men approach a woman and they're all average between 0 and 10, 5, 6 or whatever, or 4, the same as, same idea as, with the women. She would choose maybe 1 or 2, she would, because she's used to men approaching her, right? Or men, because that's what women are. Women are attractive. Men are attracted to women, and men chase women. Usually, it can be the other way around, but usually all over the globe, from the beginning of time, it's been like this. in general, yes, you might get some bloody tribe where women shag men, and God knows what they do. There's always going to be a comment, but it's not in this part of the world or in this period of time. In general, men chase women. Okay, women don't chase men, so they are the gatekeepers of sex. So they're the ones that choose. They're the ones that they have on their Snapchat, on their Facebook, on their Twitter, or whatever. They have all their friends, and they keep these men like who check out the lady's photos with her ass and all their cleavage and everything, and like dogs with their tongues hanging out. Simps, some people call them. Like, they have them on call if they want, and women are kind of, I don't know if they play dumb or they really are dumb. Like, they think that we're friends. John would never, would never want to date me. You know, I've seen some of these videos on YouTube, and they say, okay, right, let's say, hypothetically, ask John if he wants to date you. I bet you he'll say that he would. And the lady asked John or Dave or whoever it is, and the bloke says yes. Of course the bloke is going to say yes. The bloke is always ready, almost always ready for sex. So that's what I said. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. So women, what's my point? By the time a woman gets to 50, 60 or whatever, she could have had sex like thousands and thousands of times if she wanted to. Whereas a man could not have sex thousands of times even if he wanted to. So what's my point? The average woman, by the time she gets to about 60, let's say, or even 40 to 60, let's say, how am I going to say this? She's been plowed a good number of times. You know, she's had a very high body count. Now, if you consider a really nice lady who's had maybe, I don't know, by the time she's 20, she had 2 or 3 relationships, right? By the time she's 30 or 40, 50, 60, she's only had 20 relationships, let's say. That's a nice woman, right? Well, there might be some who had really nice ones, only had 1 or 2, 3 in their life. Those are really nice, really, really great women who can, you know, keep it closed for that long and only have 3 women, 3 men. That's impressive. But even if a woman only had 20 men, let's say man number 1, okay, you call him Bob. This bloke, unless he's a virgin, he would have had other women. So you have Bob here, and you have all his women. I don't have it. Well, I only have 5 fingers. You have Bob, and then you have level 1. You know, like multi-level marketing. You have Bob here, and you have 5 or 6, like 20. Let's say 20 women. Say if they had 1 or 2 men each, can you see the permutations of this man, Bob? Level 1 is about 20. Level 2 is about, I don't know, 200. Level 3, level 4. And you have a pyramid, or an inverted pyramid there, of thousands of thousands of thousands of people. If she only had 1 man in her life, if she had only 20 men by the time she's about 40 or 60, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people having sex and spreading, I don't know, parasites, bacteria, viruses down there. And basically the idea is, the older a woman is, the more time she's had to accumulate all this stuff. And so, you know, for various parts of our body, we have the microbiome. You have an oral microbiome, you have a gut microbiome, skin microbiome, you have a vaginal microbiome, and you've got lots of like pathogenic good bacteria and pathogenic bacteria. I'm sure I saw once, it was a study where it said that men that are more promiscuous, go with more women, they have more of a chance of getting prostate cancer. And I think the theory was because you have more chance to pick up, I don't know, bacteria, viruses, parasites through the urethra, or somehow you have more of a chance of absorbing or picking up this bacteria, and it affects the prostate.
it game over.
If you think about it from an energetic point of view, a biological point of view, spiritual, whatever, you're dealing with an old vessel. Now forget about the fact that it's a human being. You forget about it for a second, because women could do this as well. If you're an old woman and you wanted to practice this alchemy, you would find a young man. I'm not talking about a fucking 10-year-old. I'm talking about if you're in your 50s or 60s, you can find a man who is in his 30s, 35 or whatever, and he wanted to practice this meditation or this way of life. I mean, no one's going to complain, are they? They're not going to say, oh, it's so gross. No, because it's the other way around that people complain. So like a 55-year-old man who wants to be with a 30-year-old woman, oh, it's so gross, it's disgusting. But if it's the other way around, then, oh, go girl. Go girl, was it girl power or whatever? Oh, yeah, you're an independent woman. What's the difference? Yeah, that just shows that the level of hate that there is for men in society. Because if it's an older woman that wants to, say for example, I'm a lady. I had a wig on and earrings or whatever, and I said, I should actually do that and then see what reaction I'd get. I'd like to find a man. I'm 57. I'd like to find a man who's 30 years of age and perform sexual alchemy. No one's going to say anything, because no one says anything to women. Women are always right. And that's why they're butthurt when people speak up, because they're not used to being confronted, or, when people don't give a shit. People don't give a shit about them, because that's how they feel about men. And when they get it back, they don't like it because they're not used to it. So the idea is, it's not, in the video people thought that I meant, people were saying, well, love is, you can find a soulmate that's older than, that is in your age range or older, or roughly your same age. Yes, but that's not what I'm on about. I'm not talking about love or finding a soulmate or finding someone who understands me. I'm talking about alchemy and finding a partner who has a certain energy and within her peak years of fertility. So it's going to be like, obviously it's not going to be like 12 or anything like that. No way. But not even 20. That's just 20. Even 25 is too young. But maybe 30 to 40. But even 40, that's too old. So it's going to have to be like 26 to 30, something like that. If I can find a woman that wanted to practice this sexual alchemy, and then you fall in love with that woman, that's a bonus. But obviously the woman has to be into Taoism, has to be into alchemy, has to be into spiritual things, and also has to be youngish, and understands the idea, wants to give you her energy. And so one lady said, what do you give back? What do you bring to the table? I don't have to bring anything to a table. What do I have to bring to the table? I can protect her, and hopefully with this YouTube channel, I'm going to be very successful. But, on this YouTube channel, I just talk about my thoughts and... I don't know, that's a good question. What do I bring? My sense of humor, my character, and whatever I have, I share with her. Grow some vegetables. I've got my dogs. Yeah, I like to bring her here, and now I just had a thought. I was just thinking, I'll bring all my concubines and my harem in the car with me. That would be wicked. That'll be a really cool video. Yeah, and I'll get a lot of grief from a good few. Yeah, but I mean, you'd have to be like super rich to do that. Where there's a will, there's a way. If that's what you really wanted to do, if a person really wanted to do that, they will find the person will come to them. You know, I might get a young lady that wants to practices alchemy somewhere on the internet, on the YouTube, and then I meet the person, ends up being a fucking bloke. Imagine. No, but I mean, like, I do believe where there's a will, there's a way. If you make it if you have the intention to do that, things will come to you. Yes, normally you have to have money to acquire a woman. I know it sounds bad, but it's like you're purchasing a woman, and that's how many women have made it clear. That's what it is. Like they say, she comes with it. Like that woman said, she comes with her fertility, her youth, her looks. And what are you gonna give? It's like, yeah, it's a fucking, it's like prostitution. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, I know I say like it's not about love, but obviously there has to be some kind of, you know, if you practice that alchemy, there has to be some kind of feeling. So yes, I assume there will be love. And then the butthurt lady is going to say, that's so gross. I'm not decrepit. I'm not fucking 90 years of age. But even a 90-year-old man, if a 90-year-old bloke, right, fell in love with like a 22-year-old woman and she loved him, who am I to say, or who are you to say that it's gross? What's gross? It's human nature. Another lady said, would you like your daughter to go out with a man in his 50s? Yeah, and I gave her a nice poem. Obviously, you know, women tend to do that. It's a bit like, I remember I had my ex, my eldest daughter, you know, the one who lives in London, my former girlfriend. Even at the time, I was about 33 or something, and there were young girls at our house. They were only 22 years of age, and she was butthurt about that I was saying, oh, yeah, she's a nice girl. And we were talking about dating. Yeah, I would date a 25-year-old woman. You know, I was about 33, and that was too much for her. I mean, that was like, I'm like a fucking child molester. I'm a cradle snatcher, as they say. That was already too much, because you have to be the same age. But if you're a woman that loves a man who's 10, 20 years younger, that's all right. No problem. No problem. It's funny how that works, isn't it? It's really funny. Like, for one group of people, it's a sin. But for another group, you go there, girl. They're totally biased. It's always been that way. It's always been men who've had younger women or women of the same age. Men haven't really chased after women who are older, unless they're bloody a 15-year-old. But it's always like, even if you're a young kid and you chase after an older woman, it's always it's the same thing. Say if you're a 15-year-old, I was 14 at the time, and I remember I liked this school teacher, Miss Michael, and yeah, this is a bit embarrassing, but I remember I was about 15 at the time. I remember in my school blazer, I was just looking at her. I thought, oh, she's so, you know, I was looking at her like that. I thought, oh, she's so nice, that Miss Michael. Oh. After school one day, I saw her, and I walked her up the road. She was about 23 or something, and she was so nice. Black hair, lovely face. I remember saying to her, oh, Miss Michael, where do you live? And she goes, I live in Fulham. And I said, oh, do you live on your own? And she goes, no, with my parents. Oh, and I said, what are you doing this weekend? And I thought, oh, just thinking about it now, it's like cringy. But I was quite bold at the age of 15. Yeah, I didn't really, like, it's taken me by surprise as well, if I think about it. You can see she was kind of grinning, she was kind of smiling that I was bold enough to ask her that question. You know, little me with my blazer and fucking shirt and hair everywhere. And she said, oh yeah, I'm with my boyfriend. I'm spending time with my boyfriend this weekend. As soon as she said boyfriend this weekend, my sparse kind of dropped like that. And I was disappointed. I was sad, and she could see that she was smiling even more. And yeah, and then I kind of gave up, and I felt really deflated. And I said, "Oh, okay, bye bye, Miss Michael." And she went to the bus stop. So she realized that I had a crush on her, or that I really liked her. But what's the difference between a 50-year-old bloke loving Miss Michael? It's the same thing. A young boy and a 50-year-old man love this group between, I don't know, 18 and 28. This is the group that all men, old men, young men, middle-aged men, old men, this is the group that's attractive. It's only attractive because they're fertile. They're in their peak years. So it's like a car that is brand new and functions well. You know, it's more reliable than an older car, and so you trust it more. I don't know. You think women are cars? No, I'm not fucking saying that. It's just an example. People read too much into these things. Obviously, I think women are human beings. Well, some of them are. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, this ex-girlfriend of mine, what she was saying was just like the one in, just like the comments on YouTube, the same old boring comments. You know, would you like your daughter to go out with? No, she actually said. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so that I think we were talking about. She was going on about, would you go with a woman younger than you, like 10 years, 20 years younger? And I said, yeah, I would. If she was attracted to me and she loves me, and two people, you know, really love each other, yeah, why not? Why not? If she really digs me, if she loves me, if there's chemistry there. She said, it's like you having sex with your daughter. You know, I thought, so I said to her, yeah, so like the bloke that you're going out with, you know, he's roughly the same age as you, or roughly a few years older than you. Isn't it like you having sex with your brother or your cousin? You know, why that fucking comparison? Just because a person is of a certain age, and that age is roughly the same as your daughter, you can also say, like, the men that are you're banging or screwing are the same age as your brother or your cousin. You can make that same comparison, couldn't you? So that comparison is made to make you feel guilty. But I don't feel guilty at all. My daughter is 26 now, my eldest. If there was a 25-year-old girl that fell in love with me, it wouldn't feel like you're having it off with your daughter. I mean, that's preposterous. It's like bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. You know, but women come up with these fucking weird like brain games. No, it's not like I'm having it off with my child. It's bollocks, isn't it? It's really. I wouldn't say that to a woman. If a woman had a son who was 26 years of age, let's say, and she found a man who was 27 or roughly the same age, I wouldn't say, it's like you having sex with your son. It's bollocks, isn't it? I mean, it gets so worked up over sex. I don't know, the comment, like, there's some comments, for example, I think it was another lady, she was, or not a bloke or whatever, saying that, and I do understand, I'm not stupid, I do understand. Another lady, you're stuck in your teens. Yeah, it would be good if I was stuck in my teens, and I could live longer, hopefully, or could live longer. Saying that, yeah, it's a bit gross, like an older man looking for a younger woman. You know, if my daughter were to choose that man that old, like, as if I'm fucking 70 or 90. Even a 70-year-old is fucking young nowadays. I mean, you can be decrepit like knackered at the age of 50, or you can be quite youthful at the age of 70. I've seen some 70-year-old men, they don't look 70. They've got muscles, they look strong, they look healthy, you know. It's weird, I know. You know, how can they be so healthy at 70? But, I mean, at least on the outside they look okay. But some 70-year-olds, they look really bad, you know. So it depends on the person. Yeah. So I wouldn't have my daughter. I wouldn't like my daughter being with a 50-year-old man. But they would like their daughter to be with like a man their age. Like, say if the daughter's 25, the man is 27, just a few years older. Not younger, or maybe younger, you know, women's lib, all that bollocks. But they'd rather have a young, virile, strong man banging the hell out of out of their daughters, and that's okay, you know, because sex is quite violent. You know, men are just smashing away, and women, obviously, they like it. You know, if they like it, that's okay. But they'd rather that than a 50-year-old man who would go easier on a woman. I mean, I would go a lot easier on a woman. I'd be more caring. I'd be more into, like, you know, caressing or kissing or something like that, but not like complete, like 100% banging. They would rather that. They would, because they would like to conform to the norm and have their daughter like completely pounded, every day pounded, you know, violently pounded. Then, and they don't know what kind of sex young people get up to. And I tell you, it's nothing like what we used to get up to when you were young, or when, you know, when the mother or the father, when they were young. But you know, they wouldn't want an older man to be with a woman. I think older men, as you're older, yes, you do slow down and you do mature and you do treat women with more. It's not because she's a woman, it's because she's a human being. You would treat her more with softness and kindness and respect, you know, when it comes to making love and stuff like that. I don't know, because I haven't made any love for like 17 years. But I know how I feel. I wouldn't want to be banging away and stuff like that. I know it's quite embarrassing talking about this stuff, but yeah, this is just an answer to all those women butt hurt, you know, and all. They're so like butt hurt, and it's apt because they're just continuously thinking about sex. Whereas I wasn't thinking about that. I'm not thinking about that plowing the fucking field. I'm thinking about something more spiritual, and something to do with health, and something to do with nurturing my own energy and her energy, so we can, as I said, perform this sexual alchemy. That's all I'm going to say, because I can't really reveal what it is, but it's a bit like Tantra, a little bit like Tantra. So that's my secret, or my, you know, some of my ideas, you know, and they're not mine really. They're just things that I've picked up when I was living in China and reading some old texts. And people used to do this and think about this stuff in the past. And that's what I love, you know. No, not fancy shagging, but I'm talking about, I love things like the old Taoist texts, martial arts like Tai Chi. You know, people might be thinking, if you like the old, if you like the old Chinese mysticism, why don't you keep with the Tai Chi Chuan? Why don't you keep with the Taoism? Well, there's more to it than that. You know, if you think that ancient, like not ancient Chinese, but ancient like philosophy and ancient, you know, if you delve into the ancient kind of secrets or esoteric writing, esoteric works, if you just focus, let's say we just focus on Chinese ancient mysticism and gymnastics, dietetics and whatever, it's not just about Tai Chi and Taoism. There's more to it. If you dig deeper, there's a lot more. You know, when you talk about sexual alchemy, it's not just Tantra. Tantra is the only thing that you know about, but there are more things that people have done in the past, and they're actually quite interesting. You know, when people close their minds, they say, "Oh, it's, you know, like immediately it's a taboo. It's a bad thing," but it's not bad. It's just a different way of thinking. So yeah, I think if there was a lady who was 57 years of age and she says, "I want to practice tantric sex with a young virile man because I want our energies to combine, and I want to meditate with him." If I find a man that wants to do that with me, then why should people, you know, get involved or complain or get butthurt? And I wouldn't be able to say anything to this lady. I'd say, yeah, okay, well, that's fantastic. You know, if that's your spiritual goal or whatever it is, that's fantastic. Go ahead. But if I say it, if a man says it, then it's a big fucking problem, because because women seem to set the, not, it's not women that set the rules, but in this woke environment or society that we live in, men are seen as predators or predatory if they do anything out of the ordinary, anything strange. You know, they're seen as like the R word, or you know, if they, you know, if they even dare, if like there was a comment, you're 40 years of age, you're past it. You know, you even, I think even a 40-year-old woman is like out of your range. What the fuck are you talking about? go, go to hell. What do you mean a 40-year-old woman is out of my range? I don't want a 40-year-old woman. You know, so some of these comments are like absurd. You know, they're so narrow-minded. You know, I wouldn't say to even a 60-year-old woman, I wouldn't say a 40-year-old man is out of your range. You're too old. Too old for what? And compared to who? If you ladies still want to follow me, I might make a video where, well, I think it can be done the other way around as well, where you can find a younger man. Sex doesn't have to be involved. That's my point. People are always banging on about sex when sex does not have to be involved. I mean, you can be choose to become celibate and still practice sexual alchemy by yourself. And I'm not talking about playing with yourself. I'm talking about moving your energy around your body and practicing, you know, meditation and alchemy. You know, with a partner, I think it becomes more powerful. It's different. Yeah, and if you're that way inclined, you can I suppose do it as well. I wouldn't be able to do it with a young bloke. No way, no way. I would suffer from erectile dysfunction if I had to go that way. Some blokes are going to be saying, "Spoil sport," but I know I couldn't see myself going the other way. No, gay guys are all right. They're funny, you know, and funnily enough, they've always showed me respect. You know, I used to, when I was working in a hotel in Bayswater, I knew this guy. He was working in the kitchen. He was a blonde guy, young guy. And once I had tickets, and we went to not sunbathing, you know, like you know, and it wasn't infrared. There wasn't infrared at the time. It was just sunbed treatment. Yeah. And I said, "Would you like to come?" And he came with me, and he in the changing rooms, he got undressed, see all his bollocks and everything. I thought, fucking, I don't want to see that, you know, because I knew he was a gay guy. I thought, I don't know, it was a bit weird, and I didn't want to see that. And he was laughing. I said, "Look, just put something on." So he put something on, and he said, and he showed me like a magazine of himself, like naked, like a corn magazine, gay corn magazine, and he was in there with his thing dangling, you know, and everything, and posing. I looked and I thought, king, and I just laughed. I said, "Oh, all right." I don't know. He says, "Yeah, I've been in this magazine a few times." Bastard. Yeah, he was a funny guy, but I had a few experiences with gay guys like that. To be honest, I don't know if it's called the Gateophobia or whatever, but I don't, even if I'm even as a kid, if I'm in a changing room with the boys, I would get changed. I would turn around and get changed. I wouldn't want, you know, other boys to see was it Todger, my dong, or I don't want to see other boys' dongs, or, you know. I remember once, it was so bloody embarrassing. There was a PE teacher. He's all strict and all, you know, with a deep voice, and we were just young kids. He got undressed in the changing room with all his hairy stuff, you know, dangling, and the boys were laughing. We were only about 9 or 10. I think that's fucking abuse. Don't want to see your hairy bollocks. Disgusting. And yeah, that left a mark in my head. I just don't want to. I don't want to get undressed, you know, in a room with men. Like, you know, as men, you know, oh, brothers, we should get undressed in the swimming pool. And I don't go to the swimming pool or gym, but I don't know. I feel uncomfortable getting undressed in front of men. Even like sometimes you go to the toilet and there's urinals. I don't want to stand next to anyone that's peeing. No way. I always use the seating toilet, the poo toilet, and like I'll be almost bursting because I don't want to stand there next to some bloke if he's looking at me. No, I'll be paranoid. I remember once in China, I was on this coach. It was really, it was a rackety, really bumpy ride, an hour bumpy ride, and we had to get off, and the people got off and did a pee. So I got off near a tree, and I was getting ready to do a pee, and I saw loads of people on the bus fucking looking at me. I tell you, that pee wouldn't come out. It all retracted and went back in. And I thought, I have to pee because it's going to be another bloody hour, and I'm gonna pee myself inside the bloody coach. And so eventually I went, but it was so difficult because I had all those eyes, that pressure of people fucking looking at me. Even though they couldn't see, but I just felt so much pressure. I couldn't, like, my body wasn't responding. That's another story from China. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah. So this video is just to explain, like, the video about why I like younger women, why I prefer younger women.
2 hours later.
There are several reasons. I mean, the reasons, like that. The video doesn't really fully explain, my ideas on alchemy or sexual alchemy, and how a younger woman can actually help you feel younger and actually become younger, according to some ancient texts, but according also to, like, modern biology. If you think about it, what some people, what they do now is they take fecal transplants. They take poo or fecal matter from a young person and they put it into an older person, and that older person actually reverses disease or feels younger. They've done this with blood. They take blood from a young animal or even a young human being, and they put it into into an older human being or an older mouse or rodent, and they appear to be younger. They perform better cognitively. They perform better physically. In a way, they've taken on board the youth of that animal, of that human being. It's the same thing, with you're dealing with, like, the gut microbiome is transferred into a young gut microbiome is transferred into an old gut microbiome and affects the whole system. But we don't only have a gut microbiome, we have an oral microbiome, vaginal microbiome, skin microbiome, even your eyes. Your whole body is filled with, like, trillions of bacteria. You've got viruses, parasites and stuff. Ancient texts spoke about these things like thousands of years ago. For example, in China, the thing, what scientists nowadays, they've explained scientifically. In China, they did this. For example, they would call it bird soup or yellow soup. Like, they would take fecal matter and make it into a soup, and then older people would drink it and they would feel better. They would change. I mean, could you imagine, that soup would be disgusting. But now what they do is they make it into capsules. They call them crapsules, so that the fecal matter of a younger person, you can actually swallow it. I'm not sure how that would work. I would have thought the liver would would rebel. Your liver would rebel, but obviously it can be done. Yeah, I would have thought the liver wouldn't like that. Or you can take it rectally with a suppository or like a solution. So the idea is taking substances from a young donor and absorbing them into your body. And this is done already. You don't have to go to, like, alchemy or sexual alchemy or whatever. But sexual alchemy is much deeper. It's not just taking a substance and putting it into your body. Roughly, that's what I was talking about. So people will say, people who say, yes, it's true that you can find a more compatible person who is roughly your age. So if you're 40, somebody who is 40. If you're 60, somebody who's 60. A soulmate, someone who can understand you more. Yes, I agree. But that's not what I'm it's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm more talking about alchemy, sexual alchemy, physical alchemy, spiritual alchemy, finding a person who has a certain type of energy. And you guys know what that energy is anyway right now. So, and all the ladies that will be butthurt will be doing this. That's okay. But hopefully now you understand what I was talking about, what I really meant. And it was my fault because I didn't explain myself. So I'm sorry about that. I think if for any older men, you will probably agree that, having a younger woman, you feel younger. You just feel younger. I know there's a lot of bullshit attached to a younger woman. She's more demanding, maybe. She might give you more problems. But if you find a younger woman that doesn't give you so many problems, that isn't so demanding, that doesn't necessarily love this, and she likes to be with an older man, it's almost a match made in heaven. In heaven for the bloke and heaven for the woman. A lot of women seem to think that, why would a younger woman be with an older woman? Because maybe she wants to. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that a young woman might actually think for herself and might actually want to have an older man? Not because of his money necessarily, because she wants someone more calm, more mature, more loving, that doesn't want to bang the hell out of her, that wants to caress her, wants to, and feel safe with her. Maybe there are other reasons. Yeah, she could find a bloke her age that does all that, but it's more unlikely. I mean, I wasn't as soft as I am now when I was 20. No way. When I was 30. No way. Some women, they realize this instinctively and they want to be, I'm not saying they want to be with a fucking 110-year-old bloke or 90-year-old bloke. But, as I say, to each their own. And I better stop, otherwise I think Annabella wants me to go and pick some brambles. And it's getting dark now, so I'm going to do that. If any of this resonates with you, let me know down below. And I won't be replying, because I think I'll have to avoid the comment section. There's just so many comments that I have to get rid of. So many people I have to continuously ban because they're continuously butthurt, and they don't seem to realize that part of YouTube is like just entertainment. Sometimes I say things to piss people off. They don't realize that they take things so seriously. The thing is, you guys don't know which is a serious part and which is, I don't even know which is a serious part and which is the, like taking the piss and slightly joking, sometimes. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, look after each other, and be healthy. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Traveling close to the speed of light is a kind of elixir of life. Because time slows down close to the speed of light, special relativity provides us with a means of going to the stars.